Hello and welcome to this week's Tech A video. It's the 15th of October 2007, and once again every week I'll be covering a weekly analysis of the CAC, the DAX, the Dow Jones, the FTSE, the Nikkei and the Nasdaq. So here we are once again with the CAC 40. Those of you that know, the CAC is France's sort of key index, and one of the things we noted last week is that it was hitting a resistance of 5,900, and there was a possibility of a very tight consolidation. Well, we pretty much got it spot on. We could see that there is this consolidation. We saw it hit this 5,900, and now it's trading within this relatively tight consolidation of 100 points. Looking at today's intraday moves for the CAC, just let me get that up for 2 seconds. We can see that pretty much trading still within that range. There's not a great deal of movement with the CAC for today, so chances are certainly over the next few days we're likely to see a continuation of the consolidation that we noted. So we'll now move on to the DAX, which I would imagine will be somewhat similar. Well, this is one of the anomalies that's happening the last couple of weeks. Both the CAC and the DAX tend to mirror each other somewhat. The CAC tends to follow the DAX. What we're seeing more of lately is the DAX is sort of breaking out into its own thing, doing its sort of almost ignoring, saying to the CAC, right, well, don't copy me, just I'm doing my own thing. And the CAC is consolidating, thinking, what the hell's happening? I usually follow the DAX. And we can see here that isn't the case. Certainly lately we've got a very strong bullish moves with the DAX. There's now a real opportunity and a confirmed support at 8,000 with the DAX, which is one of the things we mentioned last week. Was that this time last week it was a resistance, and if it managed to break that, then that would be a huge positive move. We have a resistance at around about 8130, 8140. If we look at the intraday move for the DAX, we can see that it's a very tight market for the DAX for today. But what it does show is that the main thing that I wanted to show here is that it's above 8,000, and it's quite a bit above 8,000. So that is a great sign. That shows that there's a huge, strong, positive move for the DAX. What it now needs to do, it obviously needs to break this resistance. It's going to take an awful lot for it to do that, but looking at how strong the DAX has moved last month or so, last sort of 6 weeks, been some very strong bullish moves. We're likely to see, last 4 weeks I would say, we're likely to see just a consolidation at first, more sort of resting along this support. But as it gradually I would imagine it by the end, or certainly by midweek next week, that it at least have attempted to break this resistance. So that's the DAX. Moving now on to everyone's favourite, which is the Dow. The Dow, incredibly, one of the things we noted last week is that we had this huge strong bullish candle. There was a slight slowdown in the market, and we said basically there was a chance that there was going to consolidate above this once it broke through this resistance. There was a chance of it consolidating beneath that too, but we've got this break above it and just resting at support at 1400. It will do that. One of the things that I've just been alerted of, that the Reuters have done a poll, and the medians show that the US Fed to cut rates possibly by another 0.25%. So with looking at that, that's not definite just yet, but there is a possibility that the Fed will do that cut. That's my markets page going off. And there is a possibility that we could get that cut. If we do see a cut in the Fed, once again, the Fed are a bit crazy for doing that, because it's going to cause a continued reliance on the Fed to bolster stocks all the time, to bolster the markets, which is kind of what it does anyway, but it's becoming increasingly reliant on the Fed for the Fed to do this, to bolster stocks, to move them up. What we do see is this consolidation at support at 1400. If we do get that announcement from the Fed very soon, then we're going to see the Dow move on up once again to probably to silly money, and it kind of fits into what a friend of mine, who's also an analyst, who noted that we do have actually quite a small cup and handle there. And with cups and handles, we have the cup, there's the handle. From a cup and handle, they tend to move on up even sharper. One of the things you've also got to be aware of with some of the markets, not so much the indices, but certainly some of the companies and stocks and what have you within these indices, is that they're reaching a point where it's a dead cat bounce, where they fall so fast that when they hit a tiny bit of support, they bounce a little bit, but then fall even lower much quicker. So sort of be aware of those sort of three things. One, the Fed making an announcement.